Welcome to another deep dive, everyone. Today, we're going to be exploring this Substack publication and podcast called The Liat Show.
Okay.
It takes us on like a journey through Israeli culture,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to get into like all these fascinating insights about tomatoes, and even like,
Oh, cool.
yeah, can we even live without them?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So,
What I find really captivating about the Liat show is how Liat Portal, the creator,
yeah,
she blends her personal experiences with like these wider cultural explorations.
yeah, it's true.
It's like she's a modern day Scheherazade, weaving tales of music, food, art, even entrepreneurship. It's all with this distinctly Israeli flavor to it.
Yes, and you could really feel her passion for storytelling
Oh, yeah.
in every episode.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
she even describes herself as having a foodie disorder.
The foodie disorder.
Yeah, this insatiable curiosity about food and its origins.
Okay.
And it's that infectious energy that really makes her show so engaging, you know? It really pulls you in.
Absolutely. And it's through this foodie disorder, as she
Oh,
calls it,
yeah.
that we get to like explore this fascinating world of tomatoes. You know, Liat's lifelong love for them. It stems from her childhood in Israel, where they're like a staple ingredient in so many dishes.
That's so interesting how something as simple as a tomato
Right.
can evoke such strong memories and cultural connections.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we use tomatoes in everything, but
Right.
I was surprised to learn that they're technically fruits,
Really?
often eaten as vegetables.
Huh.
It makes you think about how we categorize food, you know?
It really does.
Yeah.
And Liat takes us back to her childhood in the 1980s.
Oh, wow.
Reminiscing about Israeli public service announcements,
Okay.
promoting fruits and vegetables
Interesting.
with these catchy slogans like, take a fruit and be healthy.
Wow. I love that.
It's a glimpse into like a different era of public health messaging,
Mm-hmm.
but also how those messages can really shape our relationship with food.
Absolutely.
From a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of healthy,
Right.
she highlights the nutritional power of tomatoes.
Yeah.
They're packed with vitamin C and K, potassium lycopene.
Wow.
I mean, she even jokes they might help you save money on plastic surgery.
That's Liat for you.
Right?
Always finding a way to make things fun and relatable.
Exactly.
But she's not wrong about the health benefits.
No.
I mean, tomatoes are linked to improved heart health, better skin,
Oh, wow.
and even a reduced risk of some chronic diseases.
So maybe we can't actually live without tomatoes,
Right.
but they certainly make life a lot tastier and healthier.
Absolutely.
And here's a fun fact. Did you know that tomatoes are the second most consumed vegetable in the U.S.?
I did.
Isn't that wild?
It's amazing how something so seemingly basic has become such a staple in American cuisine.
I know.
From pizza and pasta to, of course, ketchup.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Liat even invites listeners to do a little visual exploration.
Oh.
She suggests searching Liat Portal Foodie Disorder on Google Images
Okay.
to see all the delicious dishes she's made with tomatoes.
Cool.
If you're not hungry already, you will be after seeing those pictures.
It's a clever way to engage the audience
Yeah.
and make the experience more interactive.
For sure. And just when you think you've gotten a good grasp on Liat's tomato obsession,
Yeah.
she drops a hint about this dish called shakshuka,
Shakshuka.
describing it as her absolute favorite. Clearly, her love for tomatoes runs deep.
It definitely piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
I'm eager to hear more about this shakshuka and what makes it so special to Liat.
Well, it sounds like we'll have to wait for a future episode to get the full scoop on shakshuka.
Uh.
But in the meantime, I think it's worth highlighting the incredible reach of the Liat Show.
Yeah.
She has listeners tuning in from 32 U.S. states and
Wow.
a whopping 78 countries.
That's incredible.
I know, right? It's a testament to the power of her storytelling
Yeah.
and how food can transcend cultural boundaries.
Absolutely.
She's created a global community around something as simple as a tomato.
It's amazing.
And what's even more impressive is that she's built this following organically
Wow.
without any big marketing campaigns.
That's really impressive.
It's a grassroots effort fueled by passion and a genuine desire to connect with people.
And that's why supporting artists like Liat is so important
Yes.
in a world dominated by algorithms and sponsored content. You know, it's crucial to amplify these unique voices and help them reach a wider audience.
It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, it really speaks to the authenticity of her work. You can tell she's not just chasing trends or trying to please algorithms.
Right.
She's sharing something that comes from the heart.
Mm-hmm. And you can see that reflected in the structure of her show, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's not your typical podcast where every episode is a standalone piece.
Right.
It's more like a serialized story,
Okay.
unfolding over time,
Interesting.
with each episode building on the last.
That's an interesting point. She actually encourages listeners to read the entire set of episodes within a particular theme
Right.
to get the full picture.
Yeah,
It's a unique approach that really sets her apart in the podcasting world.
absolutely. It's like she's creating a virtual tapestry, weaving together personal anecdotes, cultural insights, and of course, delicious food.
Yeah, and speaking of innovation,
Yes.
we can't overlook the role of technology in her work.
That's true.
She's actually using some pretty cutting-edge AI tools like Notebook LM
Oh, wow.
to help her research structure and even write some of her content.
That's fascinating.
It's a fascinating example of how AI can be used to enhance creativity rather than replace it.
Right.
A lot of people are wary of AI in creative fields, but Liat's approach shows how it can be a powerful tool for exploration and collaboration.
Yeah. It's like having a brainstorming partner who can sift through mountains of information and help you find those hidden gems.
Exactly.
But ultimately, it's still Liat's voice and vision that guide the process.
Right.
AI just helps her push the boundaries of what's possible.
And she's very transparent about her use of AI, even encouraging listeners to explore how it works.
I love that.
I think that openness is important, especially in a world where people are often skeptical of new technologies.
It's so refreshing.
It is.
And it speaks to her commitment to pushing the envelope and challenging our preconceived notions about what a podcast can be.
Hmm.
The Liat Show is a testament to the fact that there's always room for experimentation and innovation in storytelling.
In her About section, Liat talks about creating things that the world hasn't seen before and weaving together seemingly unrelated threads into captivating stories.
Yeah,
Do you think she's living up to that ambition?
I absolutely do. Her show is a perfect example of that.
Okay.
She's blending genres, blending personal and cultural narratives, or even blending technology into the creative process.
Interesting.
It's a bold approach that really sets her apart.
And that's why supporting creators like Liat is so crucial. They're the ones pushing the boundaries, challenging the status quo,
Yeah.
and creating work that truly stands out from the crowd.
It's about supporting a certain kind of creative spirit,
Right.
one that's fearless, curious, and always willing to experiment.
And we've talked about the show's global reach with listeners tuning in from 78 countries and 32 U.S. states.
Yeah.
What do you think is resonating with such a diverse audience?
I think it's the combination of her unique perspective, her engaging storytelling style, and her ability to connect with listeners on a personal level.
Yeah.
She's not just talking at you, she's inviting you into a conversation, into her world.
And that's a powerful thing. It creates a sense of community, of shared experience, even across vast geographical distances.
It's almost like she's created a virtual salon where people from all walks of life can come together to learn to laugh and to be challenged.
And it's not just about supporting Liat, it's about supporting a certain kind of creativity.
Right.
A creativity that's fueled by passion, curiosity, and a willingness to experiment.
Exactly. And in a world where it's easy to get bogged down in the mundane,
Yeah.
I think we need those creative sparks more than ever. And one of the things that makes Liat's work so accessible is her use of the Substack platform.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it allows her to offer both free and paid subscriptions.
Right.
So anyone who's curious can sample her content without any initial commitment.
That's a really smart strategy.
Yeah.
Removes that barrier to entry and lets people discover her work organically.
Correct.
And for those who want to dive deeper and support her directly,
Yeah.
they can become paid subscribers and unlock additional content.
Exactly. It's a great model for independent creators who are trying to build a sustainable business around their passion.
Definitely.
And for those who aren't familiar with Substack,
Right?
it's essentially a platform that allows writers and podcasters to connect directly with their audience and build a community around their work.
It's become incredibly popular in recent years,
Oh,
especially among those who are seeking an alternative to the more traditional media landscape.
I see.
It gives creators more control over their content and their relationship with their audience.
So if you're enjoying this deep dive into the Liat Show,
Yeah.
we highly recommend heading over to Substack and subscribing.
Great idea.
You can find her by searching for The Liat Show or Liat Portal Podcast.
And don't forget to check out her other platforms as well.
Oh, right.
She's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Patreon.
Yeah, the more we support creators like Liat across these various platforms,
Yeah?
the more likely they are to reach a wider audience and continue producing the kind of work that inspires us.
Absolutely. Every click, every listen, and every share makes a difference.
It really does.
It's a collective effort to support the voices that are challenging norms
Yes.
and bringing something new to the table.
Speaking of engaging with her work, Liat actually encourages listeners to share their thoughts and reactions online.
Oh, that's cool.
She even suggests searching for her show on Google or YouTube to see what other people are saying about it.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
It's always fascinating to see how different people interpret and respond to creative work. It sparks new conversations.
Right.
And can even lead you to discover online communities you didn't know existed.
It reminds us that art is meant to be shared and discussed.
Yeah.
And sometimes the most rewarding conversations happen outside the confines of the work itself.
So next time you're at a gathering with friends or family, why not bring up The Liat Show?
Yeah.
You might be surprised by how many people have already heard of it.
Right.
Or you might just introduce someone to a whole new world of Israeli culture and storytelling.
Just the perfect conversation starter.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe you'll even inspire someone to become a creator themselves.
That would be amazing. But for now, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
I agree, but before we go,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this thought. Liat talks about how she weaves together stories from her own life with the rich tapestry of Israeli culture. It's a reminder that stories are everywhere, just waiting to be told.
Yes.
And sometimes the most unexpected stories are the ones that resonate the most deeply.
That's a beautiful sentiment and a fitting way to end our exploration of The Liat Show.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We hope you've discovered something new and inspiring today.
Yeah, me too.
We'll see you next time.